Get certified, get qualified, and yeah, work with the program in below, grow, do special things. Happy International. Hello, hello, Laura Bastian. Welcome to the call. I hope you're doing well. And welcome to the Hara Farm. Joining you today. Welcome to the call. Happy to be here. I hope your day was wonderful. And Maria is saying good evening to the Ramin of Seattle. You only see the cool light. You do not see the man. So.
Doesn't matter if you have 10,000 followers or just a few hundred. Print on demand is an amazing way to make money online, whether you're a YouTuber, or even a dog. With print on demand, you can sell customized t-shirts, hats, and other items.
Hey everybody.
I know I have mine for your cocktail, whatever you are drinking this time of the day. Maria is ready, yes. Ramin is rocking music on YouTube, so I'm missing the part. Okay.
Good evening. You have a job to do. I don't. So me and the YouTube folks, we just gonna chill. You doing all the work till my work starts. So, well, yeah, the music is really good.
Certified, sir.
Hello, young lady.
Hello, CEO. So good to see you. I hope your day was wonderful. I think we need 3 more minutes. We can get started officially. So
Let's do this.
Band, music, wine. Hello, Kenan. No, it's Maria. Maria's team is joining us. I love it that everyone from Maria's team is saying Maria's. Sahari saying good evening, sir, CEO Ramin. Everyone is speaking here. Everyone are excited all the time for this weekly call. And actually, our CEO every week invests an hour of time to be with us here live. We can be doing so much easier life, enjoying life. It doesn't have to be, but we choose to do so. And May is saying good evening, Ramin. Ingrid is joining us, invited by Sharon from New York. Welcome to the call. I hope you will enjoy tonight. And hello to Tim Thompson. Welcome to the call. Good evening to you. I hope your day was wonderful. Everyone who is joining and haven't told us yet where are you joining in from, please let us know. Good morning to Amwena from Kenya, 5 a.m. Wow, very impressive. Good morning to you. Welcome to the call. Thank you for being here. This is true commitment. And we have Terry from Calgary. Welcome to the call. I hope your day was wonderful. Thank you for joining us. Who else? Let's raise up the energy. Let's not fall asleep for rest time. And we have how are you doing? Everyone, how was your day? Just fantastic. I love it. No one's gonna say, and hello to Joe. Joy Richards, welcome to the call from Brisbane. In progress. Good morning, good renting night. Investing is time to be with us. Give us information, give us motivation, give us the true tools that we need in this industry and in this company. And allow me to introduce to you our special speaker for tonight. Of course, includes the development of the compensation plan, basic and advanced training, business expansion system, building high-level strategic partnership, and the overall marketing target. Ramin spent 27 years in the direct sales and built 4 multi-million-dollar business, as well as master distributor, becoming a self-made millionaire at the age of 25. Can you imagine? It was in 2005 when he launched Global Wealth Trade, his own unique high-performance entry into the world of direct sales, when he was truly able to help more people more directly. After 16 years of successful growth into 204 countries and territories, in 2017, Ramin rebranded Global Wealth Trade to Opulence Global as we know it today, in order to highlight the company's cutting-edge products, compensation plan, and culture. Ramin saw a need to bolster success of the average entrepreneur, and he's saying, "I've seen the entrepreneurial spirit is high in most people and in all continents, but there are not a lot of great avenues for the average entrepreneur to be able to hit a financial home run," says Masgar, even by helping and providing an opportunity to distributors globally, creating over a dozen millionaires as a result of his powerful training and inspiration. When you walk in the hallways of Opulence Global, you quickly see that Ramin and his company are not new to the vast accolades and winning awards, starting as early as age 16, when Ramin won the World Championship in the sport of wrestling and achieved 112 medals in this sport. Over the past 16 years, Ramin's company has been the most decorated company in the direct sales industry, with scores of media and trade accolades and awards, including front cover features on the American Business Journal with Warren Buffett, Luxury Designer of the Year award by Viva International, First Class inductee into the Network Marketing Hall of Fame, Ernst & Young Entrepreneur of the Year nominee. He was voted number 2 in 2014 and number 1 in 2020 as the top MLM influencer and trainer. And the list goes on and on. It's unbelievable. He was interviewed at the Brian Tracy Show in 2015, and he is the author and the ultimate training system in the industry, the Forensic Networker. And tonight, it's the Forensic Networker night, and we have our special guest, Ramin. The call is all yours. Welcome to the call, and good night to you.
Hello, Yulia. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, wonderful.
Okay, so we have 19% battery, and I don't know if we're going to run out on Zoom, but I am on YouTube Live as well, so get yourself on ready on YouTube if you lose me on Zoom. So just stay with me on YouTube. As usual, thank you, Yulia, for being the host of the night and of the week, and you do an awesome job as usual. Yulia from Israel. And welcome everyone on YouTube and on Zoom. As usual, like, subscribe, hit the bell button, share the link right now with a couple of people. The topic is good. You know, the topic says you are running out of time. You're running out of time. So you want to get this out there, comment. Just make sure you do that. If you enjoy this content, just like and comment, come back, share it with your social media, so more and more people can get the information. It's important. All right, so let's talk about the topic tonight. As I've always looked at life differently. I've always looked at life differently, where I look at the whole thing and I pay attention. And I'm a researcher, and I think everybody needs to be a researcher. Unfortunately, very few people are. Very few. I mean, very few. Maybe a handful of percentage wise. The rest of the world kind of follow. We know that in business, 95% of the population. One of the first thing I learned about in business success is that if you see 95% of people go in one direction, go the opposite direction, and you'll get to be successful. And that's true in business. That's true with life. And because of 5%, they don't follow the trend. When they see something, they verify. When they see something, they research. We know vast majority of people will never get success. They're all vast majority of people go in the wrong direction. So once you know that, you question everything, and especially if something that's repeated a lot on media, repeated a lot by the government, by people, you just question it. And for the last 30 years, I've been a researcher about everything. I'm very much, I like to, something important, it's worth researching. I don't waste a lot of time on TV or in CNN or in movies. Or I like my movies on weekend if I have time on whatever Netflix. But YouTube is my best friend. That's all I've always been. And one thing we know a lot about, and I've been paying attention to the last 30 years, is that the rules of life aren't getting any easier. They're getting tougher and tougher, tougher and tougher. And we really saw what's been happening the last couple of years. The topic tonight is you're running out of time. You're running out of time. So it's time to uh, build now and build hard. Build now and build hard. So stay when you're with me. Just make sure whatever resonates with you, put it in the chat. So let's start with some facts. I don't want to get political, and let's just get started with some facts though, because that leads to where we want to go. And I want to share with you my observation. My observation. And our prime minister is in the UK this week. And of course, he brought a lot of fanfare with him. Demonstrations outside, signs. Nobody likes him. I don't think he has anybody that like him anymore, which is rightfully so. He deserves every ounce of it. So a lot going on in UK. They're demonstrating against him, and the whole thing because of how he handled the last 2 years in this country. And I'm glad. Nice. Maybe I don't give people enough credit because today rating came out. He was the lowest in history of Canadian politics. So maybe I'm wrong with regards to a lot of people who are not awake. But so let's look about where it's going, because every day now, if you subscribe to the right channels, this is mainstream media. We'll find about the World Economic Forum, what they want to do, their vision for the future. And, I've done about 20 years of research, but then, the gist of it is Bush Sr. talked about that. That was 30 years ago. He called it New World Order, where, basically one world government and the top corporations basically supply everybody, and then nobody else needs to work, and everybody stays on the welfare. They have a fancy name for it. They don't call it welfare. They call it the guaranteed income. Anyway, the whole thing goes through the social score, and the social score determines. It was scary, and I put a lot of that stuff on my Instagram. You guys read it. This stuff is out there now. I mean, they're not even hiding it anymore. You can just YouTube it. So the digital ID that you have right now, they call it for COVID, but then it's going to be expanded. Will include whether you get employment or not, will travel or not, insurance, if you get insurance or not, if you can get loans or not, mortgages or not, credit card or not, whether you can get government assistance or not, government programs, all of those stuff it's going to be offered to you based on your social score. And this is where we're going. Of course, the head of World Economic Forum is talking about these things on video and live. So none of the stuff, if this stuff is new to you, you're just not watching the right stuff. Like you're just kind of watching the mainstream. So I'm looking at the world where it's going. Obviously, it's not going towards independence. That's what we want to do in MLM, right? be independent, right? That's where the freedom is. It's going more and more towards dependence, right? So pretty soon, if you don't have the QR code, the right social score, then you pretty much become Russia, where you become isolated. So, and guys, just don't add to politics, because it's not politics, a political channel. I'm going somewhere with this. I just take it in, take it in. I'm giving you some background. Give me some background. All right. So what's the plan of action? If the government wants you to be dependent, right? So if you're dependent, then I guess you don't question anything and you have to follow whatever they say. If you're independent, though, you have a voice, you're strong. That's what the New World Order doesn't want, right? That's why they want to implement this, social score and so forth. So what's the plan of action? I mean, I always ask myself a question. I said, Ramin, put your customer glasses on. If you are in this day and age, if I'm a 25-year-old today and the rest of my life is in front of me, like, what do I need to do? Like, what do I do? And if I have all this information, what do I do? Well, the plan of action would be, just to basically get out of the G7 countries, because when they have these things, G7, it used to be G8 before Russia, they kicked them out, so now it's there's G7, there's G20. To be part of these clubs, you have to follow the rules. And the G7 countries is where they believe they have the vision for the future, and they can decide for the future for all humanity. So the way I would look at it is that get out of the G7 countries. Canada is being one of those countries. And for the first time in my life, in 40 somewhat years I've been here, I told my son, this is probably not home for us long term. And try to explain to him, there's a lot of great countries around the world, and we need to explore that. And I'm already looking into those things, because what we experienced the last 2 years, we experienced that there was no freedom. And we experienced something that how divided people can become and how influenced they become. Like Canada, especially, we used to be good neighbors, right? It didn't matter. Canadians, good people, and they are, except they can influence just like everybody else. So, so it's important to be, plan for the future. If you don't want to go through what you went through the last 2 years, which is, by the way, this is just a preview of the future. Then you should be planning. Okay, you know what? I might not ever do it, but I want to be able to leave the G7 countries. There's like 200 plus countries in the world, and I can tell you there's over 50 countries that I would rather live than live in Canada, because of just everything. I travel a lot. I see how there's some beautiful countries around the world that don't have this pressure of one world governance, and they kind of run their own little thing, and I love that. And I actually absolutely love that about the world. So you may decide again not to ever do that, but you want to be able to. I always said, MLM or life is not about the waterfront mansion or the Porsche in the driveway. It's being, do it, but it's just being able to. So if you think it's going to go back to pre-pandemic, you're mistaken. This is the new normal. And if you like it, and if you're okay with it, that's fine. But I know a lot of people aren't. I'm certainly not going to accept that. When my 12-year-old can't play basketball, the game he loves, and I have to, that's just not something that a lot of people are interested in. And I talk to a lot of people who are in my position, and all of them are already planning a departure. So we're looking at it, I think big above all, one thing you want in life is freedom, and be able to decide for yourself and enjoy the life that you work for, and without any interruption. So you need to start working on that. The title of this call is the time is running out, right? You're running out of time. And we're going to talk a little about that and what you should be doing. So first plan is leave the G7 countries. Whether you do it or not, at least you should be able to, that you can make those decisions. So what I would do if I was a 25-year-old that thought, you know what, I don't like where things are heading. I launched an MLM business. and I start building first where I live, building where I live because you need that immediate cash now. Not only you need that cash now, it's easier to do business locally, but people locally know people abroad. So, you need those contact builders. You need those bridges from wherever you are to other countries. You need those local people because everybody knows people everywhere. And what I would do, I would decide, okay, if I didn't live in my country, what's the top 5 countries I would want to live in? you know so find those 5 countries. If I didn't live in my country, I would be living in, these are my top 5 countries, right? Great. Wonderful. Then what you do, you tell everybody, right, in your team, hey guys, we got 5 countries we're going to focus on to build. When I was building on, this is pre-internet days, we run ads in the newspapers a lot. This is 25 years ago. If we decide to expand our business, we say, okay, we want to open up in Calgary, or we want to open up Windsor. I tell everybody, special call. Who knows anybody in Windsor? Everybody. Me. How many people you know in Calgary? Me. So next thing you know, okay, now we got 300 people, each know 5 people in the city. All right, guys, here's the script. Here's the voicemail number. Call, and let's go, right? So that's what we built. So you want to do that here, decide, okay, who knows somebody in Germany? So the point is this, everybody should be building locally first, and then top says, hey, I want to build in Nigeria. Great, wonderful, let's do that, right? So at the end of the day, but in your head, your business plan is that, okay, I need to act as if one day I'm going to leave this country. Where would I want to go? Where would I want to go? And start building in those countries. And it's fun too, because if those places that you want to go, you can always go on vacation as you build and explore those countries. And maybe you realize later there are other countries you want to live in. But at least now you have a plan. You have a plan that you're going to start implementing right away. So, like I say, put a team call together, ask people, and on social media, you can advertise in those markets. For example, if you wanted to build something, I don't know, in Australia, then you can actually run ads just for Australians to see, right? If you want to look for MLMers in Sydney, Australia, whatever it is, Perth, right? You can actually do it. New Zealand, right? You can do that. So again, just like how we used to run ads in the newspaper and give a 2-minute voicemail to listen to, you guys can actually run your ads on social media. It's much easier now. Those days we had to find what's the main newspaper in that city, contact them. It's newspapers on paper, so if they had room, they didn't have room, they were expensive. I remember each ad used to cost like $800 to $1,000. This is 25 years ago. It was expensive. By the way, that was one day. So, and if you take a smaller ad, maybe you can run it for 5-6 days, but it costs you $1,000, $1,500. This is 20 years ago. It's a lot of money. Nowadays, it's a lot easier to do that. And you don't have to actually go there to meet these people for the first time. You can do this online. So you want to make sure that you start advertising in those markets and start leads. And if if in the 5 markets, you can always also go to upline too. Hey, listen, in these 5 countries, who do you know? Just give them those 5 countries, because you say, who do you know ever in the world? Well, they don't even have an answer for that. Hey, how do you know? Who do you know in Switzerland, in Panama, in Bermuda? And let me take a look. Oh, yeah, I know some people. Can you search it out for me? And I want to start building there. I want to build with people who are already there, right? Because there's always strength in numbers. You can do that with your sidelines, right? Hey, listen, guys, who wants to go to Bermuda? Good. All right. You know what? Let's do some social media. Let's build together. Strength in numbers. It brings this commonality too. And nobody's thinking about this thing. But if 2 sidelines call each other, hey, listen, you want to go build in St. Lucia? Yeah, sure. Why not? Oh, good. Let's put that together. This is some advertising. We split the lead. Boom, we go, right? So it helps you build these campaigns that you wouldn't do on your own, and you want to build it hard. And the reason why I said think as if somebody gonna move there is because you're burning bridges. Okay, I have to make this happen. It's not somewhere vacation. Then no, you really want to build those markets. It's all psychological. All right. So you do some social media advertising. You ask your upline to join you, maybe a sideline. Who do you know there? And then you want to give yourself a deadline, right? The next thing is, okay, you know what? I got a couple of years to do this. Now, according to the World Economic Forum, everything that they want to accomplish, they have the technology now. So, and if you saw on my social media, just go Google it, YouTube it. Of course, there are they're saying now let's just use this QR codes and expand it into everything. In other words, you don't need a driver's license anymore. You don't need a visa anymore. You just kind of go there with a QR code. Everything's already there, and so forth. The problem with that is when you limit all these things, money, everything goes digital. Then all of a sudden you're just one button away from being being disabled. So it's important that we understand where this is going, right? We understand where this is going. So give yourself a time. So look, in 2 years from now, I want to be in position that not only have a business here, but I have a choice to move into the top 5 countries, one of them or two of them. I want to have enough business in one or two of those countries that in 2 years I want to be in position. If I want to move, then I can move. Maybe I don't want to move, but at least I want to have that choice, right? Independence, having that choice. So give yourself a deadline. 2 years is a good deadline. 2 years, 600 days. You know what? Every day you can monitor that. It's not too long. You can monitor that, and you can with the MO box, you can, a couple of years, it goes back really, really, really quick, right? So, and here's the thing too, and 2 years is not a long time, so you got to be aware the clock is ticking, right? Do it daily, put some type of calendar count. Now, if you got the MO box, they remind you because every day you're gonna go through it every day, right? It goes by pretty quick. Next one, a week ends, right? A month ends. You gotta all the stuff you push back. You gotta take it from the next month, put it in that 1 to 31 for this month, and next thing last month you didn't do much, and it goes by really, really quick. It's a good thing because an awareness, it's going by anyways, just don't know it, right? So it gives you a good reminder that you're burning through days, weeks, and months, not even knowing it. So put some type of calendar count. The clock is ticking. Use the MO box, and it will keep you in check. I mean, what a beautiful way. That's not, it's easy. Everyone can use. So it would be, here's where I'm looking at this thing is because I've seen what's happened the last 30 years. And you guys have all seen what happened, right? Pretty much every promise of the future. Remember the 40-40 plan? Work out for 40 years with a good company, 40 hours a week in 40 years and then retire. Well, where's that these days, right? So I'm not going to say they lied to us, but they didn't, it's just that the way things are, it didn't pan out. They knew it wasn't going to pan out, but they told everybody anyway. So the retirees today are having a real hard time, right? So again, you've seen these things, and you know what? Everything you're hearing now is not going to happen. You got to remain independent, right? You cannot rely on anything the government tells you, and it just doesn't work. They don't have so there's no magic pill that they can offer you. So it's time that you have to take control of your life. So I think we're very negligent, very, very negligent that you have a choice to keep track of yourself, to control your own life, and you don't do it. I mean, it's very negligent. Right? Right now you have full control of how much money you want to make. You can build your side business and every day take a little bit more independence. Every day a little bit more independence. Because right now you might be fully dependent, but every day take a little bit back and a little bit back and a little bit back, and next thing you know, hey, I'm only dependent 75%. Then I'm only dependent 50%. Then I'm only dependent 30%. Then I'm only dependent 5%. Now I'm a 100% independent. How awesome is that, right? So when you have that choice to be independent, choose not to, that's very negligent. That's very negligent. So you have to be aware of what's going on with the world, and you have to start taking action, taking your life back in your own hands. The only way to do that is self-employment. That's the only way. Employment is dependency, right? Self-employment is where you have freedom, right? It's independent. So you want to make sure that that you stay self-employed, and of course MLM is self-employment. So businesses offering solutions. When you take a look at businesses, right? Self-employment, being in business, is basically offering solutions to the world's problems, right? You offer solutions to problems that you charge for. It's called business, right? So it's not hard to understand the concept of business. I got 13% battery here, so it's not hard to understand the concept of business. You find some problems, provide some solutions, and you charge for it. And Opulence offers all of that and much, 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 much more. There's a lot of problems out there. We got a lot of solutions, and we give you options that no other self-employment method of operations will allow you to do, like leverage marketing, like global business beyond borders, like 24/7 support, all of those things, right? Also, Opulence is your best shot. Opulence is your best shot. It gives you leverage. It gives you a professional business. It gives you a turnkey business. When you come into Opulence, everything is ready for you. If you launch today, everything you need is ready for you. It is a professional business. Look at the trainings that we do, the tools that we have, the website, the software. That's like a $3 million software that you get on day one. You got 24/7 support. It's a global business. Again, other self-employed businesses have none of this, right? It's a private and secure business, right? When you do business with us, nobody knows about it. You have to report yourself. It's private and secure. You don't get that in other type of businesses. It's detached from the banking to do business. That's another thing. A good example right now is in Thailand, for example. We don't have a bank account. Well, we do now, but we didn't have a bank account. And so how they were doing it is through, it says my connection is unstable. How are we doing here, YouTube? Am I okay? Give me a quick